Welcome to the second leg of the quarterfinals of the Simulation Soccer League. I'm Sox, joined by Sarah, the voiceless creator. A huge, wild set of 4 matches we had previously, and now they play the return leg. Sarah, first up, Cairo, Catalunya. Why don't you dissect this one for us?
Cairo, Catalunya, the classic rivalry up front, and boy, did that first leg entertain. We are looking at 5 goals for Catalunya and 2 goals for Cairo City. Now, the 2 goals from Cairo City were the away goals. Cairo coming home will now need to score 3. Catalonia, on the other hand, showed pure and utter domination in their home leg and looked to continue that on their away visit to the city of pyramids.
Yeah, as we get ourselves quickly underway here. Catalunya with first touch here. It's Juliusson who ends up cutting up powdered toast man. Of course, Dogwood Maple will be one to watch here. Scored 4 goals in that first half along with 3 penalties against Cairo. And, well, I mean, you have to think all discipline will have to be cut down here by Cairo in order to try and resurge themselves back into this as here as possible. And look for an early opportunity, but nearly thought they sent that one out, but ends up being recovered over the wing, and there's a penalty given against Mojo Rising. And already we have an opportunity for Cairo to get one back. Needs one of 3. Torres saved by Gunnarsson to a right. Torres a rebound and scores! And it's already 1-0.
Cairo need 3, and that's 1. So they're well on their way here. Good effort by Gunnarsson. Unfortunately, unable to get to the rebound and unable to wreck the first shot out. But a good save there off the pen.
Yeah, did well the first time, but just couldn't get to that second one on next opportunity. And Torres read it perfectly. Was, starting out at the spot, had the distance advantage and got there in time. Now they look to regroup after a corner kick cleared. Now finds Pierre Hood, but he'll settle things down. Good intercepted there by Okamoto. Now Dogwood Maple. Ends up finding Ask Jeeves. Now with Powdered Toastman. Over to Jeeves again. One of the things that I think we'll have to look for in this match when we go through and see what happens here is Torres just has a knockdown there by Lee Fist. Is how well can Cairo basically try and score from open play, because they were still 2-2 in open play, and that's where it seemed like they had the advantage previously. It's whether they can just continue that kind of run of form and trying to convert up those opportunities as they try and loft it basically across the box. Stains with Felix Adasov. Adasov back in now for RxG. That's opportunity and saved by Alexandra Gunnarsson. She held on to that one quite well there that time.
Now, what I will say about this matchup is that neither team has made any sort of formation changes. Both teams still playing in that 4-1-4-1 formation.
Yeah, we didn't get to see that at the start of the match. Here's Adasov against Vince. Oh, a shot! What a finish! Picks the top corner, and it's only a 1-goal difference. Felix Adasov with a huge finish, and it's 4-5.
That's Adasov, the right back there, with a beautiful shot. I'm not even sure he really meant to do that. I don't even know he knew he had that in it. But Cairo City sure are glad he did. That is 2 of 3 for them.
Yeah, of course, if this does end up being another scoring fest and Cairo ends up putting up 3, Cairo putting up 6, Catalunya get the advantage. 1 on a 5-2 win. We go to extra time, as now it looks like Cairo will try and tie this up already, as here's Bjorkas. Here against Budget Busquets. Stains now finds us. Jeez, deflecting ball. Nearly finds Image, but no one had it.
I thought we were looking at the tying goal there.
Yeah, had a difficult opportunity, but now here's Flemish again. in there, but headed away by Jokkel Juliusson. Oh, ends up being given back there by McFlopface. Juliusson blocks yet another cross, and that time gets it back and clears it out.
Juliusson, absolutely talismanic for Catalunya through the ages. The Icelandic center back standing in at 6'6" has been there since, I believe, season 2.
They need to look to the veteran at some point throughout this match, but thus far has been stalwart defensively. Here is Okamoto, finds Rising, gave him a pen, sends Dogwood Maple in! And Dogwood Maple again! A 5th goal in this leg, and it's 6-4 Catalunya, 35 minutes in.
And on aggregate, and in total, Catalunya lead now. They do need, Cairo needing, what is, 2 more goals to catch up?
Yep, 2 more.
3 more goals to win.
Yeah, of course they do still hold away goals advantage as it stands. It's something we'll need to keep an eye on, of course, as free kick given here. Ask Jeeves, whips it over to Hood, but Hood sends it over the top.
Now, Dogwood Maple, the American, I get that mixed up all the time, I apologize. The American forward, that's his 11th goal of the competition in the cup alone.
Just already hitting double digits prior to this game, and now adds another as here's Freddy back up for Bjorkas. Bjorkas is surrounded, gets it out to Arasov, a right back playing up yet again. Marked closely there by McFlopface, who gets it and hoists it clear, but yeah, who does well there. Sends the clearance right back in. Now Flemish. Now in for Possible, and a good save there by Gunnarsson on the short side.
Possible probably would have felt like he could have done better there despite the angle. Gunnarsson made that look rather easy.
Yeah, that time had to make a difficult save against Ask Jeeves. Jeeves quickly having to run over here to try and make sure they get this corner off. Give themselves as much time as they can, and Flemish just over the top. And that will take us to the break. It's been mostly Cairo here, but they don't have the deficit made up yet. Even if they duplicate this last half, it would only be 2-1. And then they would still be down by 1 and not have your away goals advantage. So, do you think they need to really step it up here and try and crank up the offensive pressure in the second half?
Well, absolutely. That's a given if they hope to progress further than Catalunya. Though, I will say, of the 2 teams, Catalunya have been instructed to play more aggressively. However, it's Cairo, I believe, that's really built to play better in that style. Catalunya have a really strong defensive core, where Cairo are really more fluid in the midfield.
Yeah, it's such a difficult thing to try and, work out the tactics. Even if you are the better team in a certain style and it doesn't match up well against them, sometimes you just kind of have to play that way. And, well, hopefully we get to see more excitement here because we've already had 10 goals in this leg. Yes. Who knows how many more we had in store. Of course, we did know that substitutions come in before we continue on with that. Clark and McPossum for McFlopface and Okamoto on the side of Catalunya. It looks like Sam Siege is on, along with Ketchup Noodle, who has been clinical with setting up goals days past. Felix Arasov has come off it, but I didn't quite catch who the second one was. Yes, Sarah.
Yes, so it was Arasov out and Siege in, so the goal scorer has come off the pitch. Here's Torres now.
Torres, a good shot, but a tough angle on Gunnarsson.
And it was Staines that had come out for Noodle. Wesley Staines.
Okay. Alright, so they clean Staines out, and now they will have Noodles to deal with as here's Juha Järvinen trying to run here against Powdered Toastman, basically going coast to coast, lofted ball that ends up finding Jackson Clark, but Clark can't corral it.
You can't hear my eyes roll, but they did roll.
I did have that thought just before we went to the break that in the situation of having just players that can just try and do more work through. just needing to find some kind of angle maybe. I'm losing my train of thought here. Bjorkus just able to get it by. Here's Torres now, and again a good save by Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson has needed to be there, and there's a good reason for why Catalunya are staying in this leg. But here's Jeeves swinging in, headed away by Lee Fist for another corner now. He's working to the other side of the park now for Pierre Hood, but Juliusson again cut it out. Eddie sends it long back in for Jeeves and waiting. Back out for Hood. We find inside ball. Sam Siege, a long shot from just outside of the area, but Gunnarsson, safe pair of hands again.
It is 2-1 in Cairo's favor, but in no small part thanks to Alexandra Gunnarsson, as she has really kept Cairo to those 2 goals. It's been excellent and really under siege now is Catalunya.
Yeah. And now Torres again gets free of Juliusson, and that one's home! Assisted by the keeper, Elmis the Heretic, and it is a 1-goal aggregate yet again.
I think the exact same thing has happened. I've commentated Curse, and it does come from the goalkeeper yet again. I'm not sure if it's the exact same series, but it happened last time. Franco Torres, the benefitter of that one. I'm sorry, Gunnarsson.
And now again, Cairo looking to attack. Whipped inside. Franco Torres just over the top. I actually did get a talk with Alexandra Gunnarsson recently and asked why the name isn't Alexandra Gunnar's daughter, but I was just told I don't care. Anyway, here's Vins. Now with Jackson Clark.
That very much does
Clark
sound like a
inside
thing
for
Reno
Järvinen.
would say.
Järvinen now over to JJ Okocha! Left unmarked on the far post, and it's 7-5.
Beautiful piece of work from JJ Okocha. He is out in absolutely no man's land, and Järvinen, credit to him for finding the head of Okocha there. Absolutely nothing the Heretic could have done.
Yeah, it's just like everyone seemed to be focused on Dogwood Maple, the danger player that Catalunya have always had, but they just completely missed Okocha coming through. But now here's a chance. Here's Impossible again, a save by Gunnarsson, just away for a corner, I believe. Now here's Jeeves once again, whipping it in and cleared away there. Again, Juliusson coming through. Now Jackson Clark on the counter attack. Clark running it down the left flank against Freddie. Oh, that's a free kick given. It looks like there might be a card here.
Just a talking to.
No, just a warning. There's a card there for Powder Toastman. Oh, good interception of a throw in here. Here's Siege now working inside for Okocha. Now also McPossum. As he gets to Maple, now with Järvinen. They run quickly through, but a good stop there. I believe that was Hood. Ended up halting that attack in its tracks. Another long kick deep towards Torres. Ends up finding the foot of Bjorkus. Now a Siege possible. Here's Torres. Hat-trick opportunity. Just takes it out to the other side. Siege's shot blocked. Torres now back for Freddie. Freddie sends it over to Jeeves. Jeeves against Järvinen. Turns it back round. Good intercept, Mojo Rising. Now tries to send Clark on the attack via Dogwood Maple. Clark has a look. Goes back to Vins. Trying to find another opening here with Mojo Rising. Back to Vins. Oh, good tackle there by Possible. And now Flemish has to work it clear. This has been very back and forth now. Just centre-backs and goalkeepers having to really work their hardest to stop these forward attacks. As here's Bjorkus now. Goes over to Noodle. Marked closely by Järvinen. Noodle, ground ball to Jeeves. Now with Freddie! Saddle Freddie, it's 1 goal again!
What a passage of play from both teams, and it's Freddie from the defensive midfield who finally makes the difference. Roaming all the way back up to the midfield. Of course there's no one tracking him. He finds the space and he's there to put Cairo back in contention.
It was just a beautiful gap he found right between the centre-backs left of Gunnarsson. And now with the time ticking away, though, they need to try and find another goal. Because if they do find another goal, though, it's going to be extra time right now. They need two! There's one! Jeeves from the spot finds a top shelf. It's 7-7. More like David Freeze Jeeves has tied it at 7 apiece. And how have they come back for this?
And somehow you knew Jeeves was always gonna let it fly from there. You saw the wind-up. It never looked like he thought twice, and he rifled that into the corner for Cairo, who find a way to claw it back.
But with the 2 they've conceded, they've got the 5. Oh, what a close shot there. Okocha nearly had his second with the head. But now if it's tied, it goes to extra time and then penalties if necessary. Wow, there must be so much pressure on these teams just to try and get something out of this now. It's Lemished. Lemished inside, Franco Torres back for possible, blocked by Busquets. Cleared out by McPossum, but no one's there to mop up that clearance. Now Lemished. Back inside, Vins blocks it, but goes off for a corner. 5.5 minutes in regulation. Now with extra time looking to follow if no one can break this deadlock. Food now back to Jeeves. Jeeves is called offside.
Unfortunate for Cairo there, who absolutely look like they are on fire, in control. They hold the momentum here, but we are looking like we're going into extra time!
Oh, wow. Well, Sarah TVC, I am not sure about how extra time works in this. Is this away goals on extra time if they end up both scoring, or will we go to penalties afterward?
I am presuming that if we end up, they both end up scoring, that it's an away goal, which means Catalunya would win. But I am hoping that we get a clear winner, or just go to penalties. That would be exciting.
Yeah, or penalty shootout would be an absolutely insane way to start this second leg of the quarterfinals, as here's Jeeves, who scored the game time goal. Looked to be a hero once again here early on. But I try to find possible, but no one was on the receiving end.
Possible just a little shy there. That pass was well placed.
Yeah, it looked good, but just couldn't find the foot. So now here's possible once again. Now running against McPossum, of course. These players probably aren't used to the 120 plus minutes that they'll be working at. Here's Slamish with a long shot, but never troubled Gunnarsson in truth.
Yeah, no.
What do you think about that? You know, how difficult must it be for these teams, these players, to try and work that extra half hour?
Well, speaking of half hour, my mind is on Alexandra Gunnarsson and what is going through her mind right now.
Well, that nearly went through the hands, but just tipped over the top there. I mean, it's just such a difficult mental struggle. You know, you've basically had to play out of your skin for most of the match, but I mean, Cairo have just found so many different opportunities, and now you have to reset, go again, as that ball headed away by Lee's fist.
By every means, she's played better than any average goalkeeper. She's played out of her skin, like you said, right? But whenever she looks up at that scoreboard, it says Cairo 5. And that is hard to get past. As we come into the last little bit of at halftime here, the last 15 minutes, she's got to be thinking about that penalty shootout. What's going through her head?
Yeah, I mean, how much do you put practice into that in the cup, especially, you know, when you're coming in knowing that you would need this exact scoreline to, which, you know, it seemed so unlikely. And now you have to think about it. You know, how much time did you put into that? How much did you invest? What was all this preparation that you've been doing beforehand? Where has this gone towards? And will it come back for you in the end?
And my mind goes to who's already scored on her. And I'll be honest, Cairo has spread it out this game.
Yeah, I mean, last time it was only the 2 goal scorers for Catalunya. Of course, Dogwood Maple had the 4, but Yeah, of course, one of them is off now. Felix Anasov is no longer on the pitch, but you do still have to deal with Franco Torres. You still have to deal with Sato Freddy. You still have to deal with Ask Jeeves. It will be a big question as to who they decide to send out for the shootout, whether it will be those five. As here's Torres. Oh, Bjorkas got the back from the challenge from Fist, but just put it clear.
He rushed that shot. Unfortunate for Cairo there. That was a good-looking opportunity.
Yeah, they've had a lot of those, and most of the time they've been shut down by Gunners. And here's Clark, just tipped away by the Heretic.
Elmas the Heretic, he's the man on the other side. When he's needed to make the save, he has, though he hasn't needed to make many of them.
Yeah, though admittedly still let those through 2 goals on 4 shots on target. It's not been great percentage-wise, but that'll be something to look out for, is how many of those shots will he be able to save coming into the last 5 minutes of this, well, extra time half. And then has to think about the shootout afterwards as well. Again, kind of flip side of it is how much time did the Heretic prepare for shootout as possible. Looked like a good opportunity, but just couldn't direct that towards any edge. Looks like we'll have about 90 seconds left. 1 minute added on the 4th official scoreboard. Postman out now to Ketchup Noodle. Noodle against Järvinen. Finds possible. Tries to send Torres through at an angle. What a chance this would be! And it's tipped by Gunnarsson. And it ends up not going out of play for a corner kick either. Just sent clear by Järvinen and sent out for a Cairo throw. Jeeves now to Freddy. Back with Ask Jeeves. Ready to Ketchup Noodle. What a time for a goal this would be. It's surely next goal wins if they can get one in these final 30 seconds or so. But some might be content to park the bus. Not Catalunya. Here's Dogwood Maple. Inside, but wide right.
Let's hope that is the one he chooses to miss instead of what comes next.
Surely will come next, but there might be one last opportunity here. Mojo rising. Oh, they've pulled it. Oh, goodness me. This must be so much emotion going through. Just an opportunity surely denied there.
The referees have had so much influence on this game, this entire series. Oh, lordy.
Well, now it's time for penalties. It's going to be Dogwood Maple. Catalunya gets the first shot. Maple goes left, beats him!
Gunnarsson here now. I take it all back. That is no woman in net. She is a machine.
Oh, and Torres, in spite of that, just slots on bottom right corner, sent it through the net as well with such great power.
I think that dribbled into the post.
Clark, however, coolly slots it to the right. Now for Tim Possible. Possible. With a left foot strike. Save!
Gunnarsson got it! The machine does it! We will see if she's able to stop the other 3.
Now Mojo rising! Got the wrong way! And all the pressure now on the previous goal scorer, Sato Freddy.
Absolutely.
Another left footer. Went the right way, but didn't get to it. And now they're going to send up Gunnarsson. Keeper versus keeper. Gunnarsson, goal!
Sends Heretic the wrong way. Bears in top corner in style. Not only can she save them, she can absolutely score them.
And now it's on Pierre Hood to at least keep it alive for Cairo. Even if he does, puts all the pressure on Elmas the Heretic. Hood, left corner, does well.
Gunnarsson unable to get to it there, though does go in the right direction, just a little too slow on the reaction there.
Now the one that basically you could say kept them in the game.
Here.
The one that scored the 7th goal. JJ Okocha.
Needs to find a
All
way to put it
the
in
pressure.
here.
Got it! Right by! Bottom corner! Catalunya goes through to the semi-finals.
And unfortunate for the Heretic, guesses the right direction, just misses by a finger, and JJ Okocha put that into the perfect spot to send Catalunya on through. On the match day, it looks like Cairo City had themselves a great day. Unfortunately, on the series, they will be having their cup run end here after going all the way to the final last year.
Such a valiant effort done. Such a tough way to lose as well. The penalty save on Tim Possible. Great save by Alexandra Gunnarsson. She had to absolutely play out of her mind. And even then it was just barely enough.
Yeah, no.
Now we move on to another match that saw a wide margin in the first leg. And I'm sure Buenos Aires will be inspired by that performance from Cairo, even if it wasn't for one in the end, as Hollywood are up 6-2 in this aggregate after that first leg in California. And Buenos Aires, the Argentinian side, have to make 4 goals up.
Yeah, this is gonna be a challenge for Buenos Aires. They looked okay in the first match. They certainly threatened Hollywood, which was not something I expected.
There's an early threat there as that shot was saved by Kosha Oakdown.
That man there, Kyoshi Oakdown, playing a big role in their first game as well. Though the scoreboard did say 6 at the end of the match.
Yeah, which is just due to 2 goals in the last 10 minutes. Really just kind of put them on the back foot, as there was an offside header there. I believe that would have been from... I actually didn't catch who that was, but it was sent in there by Putanesca as a yellow card already shown here to Lauren Gorkov. And yeah, I mean, thus far though, Buenos Aires, we saw Cairo get onto some early leads. This time, however, not really able to create many attacking opportunities. Here's Mike Checker. Tali closely marked by Lan Kwai, goes back to Oakdown, playing well out of his box there. Out to Shea Guevara, now I've had him Knight. Knight sends a long ball out, trying to find faking an injury, but Spack Jarrow there to intercept. Sent long away by Scott Sterling. Sigvardo Katarina tries to get up to the contest, but Ricky Bobby got it to Liang Kwai. Kwai in now for Ricky Bobby. Bobby a shot, saved by Oakdown. Rebound falls for Rashford on the right edge, and Knight is able to get that one away. This is going to be something that we look, of course, in that first half. They were pretty much equalised. Then Ricky Bobby did put home that 47th minute goal just on the stroke of half time. And then, again, it was just Hollywood in that second half. I got a goal on the 49th, the 80th, and I believe the 89th. That resulted in them taking that 3 goal second half and 3 goal first half. Combine it and you have 6. Just, they've really had the edge in that regard, and now they have to look again to just make sure they can hold on here, even though they are playing against a pretty hostile crowd here in Buenos Aires.
Oh, it's funny you mentioned looking to hold on as Ricky Bobby.
Guevara! Yeah, bad pass there by Shea Guevara. Just found Ricky Bobby, and yeah, you were saying about the hostility.
Yeah, so we should see more of that coming out from Hollywood. They're playing in a 4-1-4-1, a familiar formation for those who had seen the last match.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem to be a favorite of the Simulation Soccer League, just, having that one player at the front. And, well, it's been Ricky Bobby that has found themselves mostly on the receiving end of it, even though they haven't been the one playing forward in this one. I believe it is Tiki Taka.
That is correct. Tiki Taka is the main striker of this formation, though everyone contributes, as you see from the Kai there.
Yeah, I mean, Jones, Rashford, Bobby, Kwai have all been able to contribute in some way, but, well, Buenos Aires can't make any dent. I only have a 1 shot on target, but everyone's been on target thus far, which is positive signs. 5 shots, 5 on target from Hollywood as well. No one really missing any chances thus far.
Yeah, but you can't really see many of those chances were too threatening either. The XG map looks extreme, but that's because on the other end, Buenos Aires didn't have anything. They had a very, very quiet first half. They're playing in a 4-2-3-1 though, so a little more secure in that midfield, but I'm sure they're a little disappointed that they didn't get too many more opportunities in that first half.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, they had the 4 corners, but they only had the 1 shot, so they just need to be able to find someone on the receiving end, perhaps faking an injury or Antonio Governo, but I mean, this is going to be something that they really just need to find a chance, if anything, just to get that ball rolling, because only having the 1 shot on target when you need at least 4, it's really difficult to look at that and think, I would think we can, get this aggregate back, but right now it hasn't been there for them.
This image does not inspire confidence, and that's not something I'll shy away from. In fact, I hope that's something that their coach touches upon in the locker room. This is not something that inspires the fans, so I would tell the players get back out there and change it up.
Yeah, that kind of has just to be the word given. So now we have to think about for Hollywood. They, had the majority of the chances. Didn't quite have the majority of the possession, but they were basically inseparable. Now Hollywood has to think, just hold on to this one. They don't need to go too far over the top, but you just got to make sure you don't give up 4 goals. As didn't quite get to see the subs there, but Aurelio Buendia has been brought on, and faking an injury has been brought off. He did catch that one. We do also have, I believe it's Grayson Yates on for Buenos Aires.
Yes. So is Buendia out for Tildes Fuken and
Eric Tildesfunction.
Yes.
Yes.
Eric Tildesfunction. Thank you.
Yeah.
Grayson Yates in for faking an injury.
That would track. Yep. Okay. Just got one of them, but not quite the other. As here's Gerard Vines, Tiki Taka, barely saved by Oakdown and Knight. Also able to make sure that doesn't go for a corner either. Just only a throw in. That's some good work there on that clearance, just to make sure nothing comes of it.
No subs for Hollywood, so if this goes the distance, if Buenos Aires finds a way to close the distance, maybe some tired legs coming into play.
Yeah, though, of course, I do believe Hollywood only has the 1 substitute available to them. Here's Vandersloff just past Gerard, but saved by Scott Sterling.
Scott Sterling, local cup hero for many years, responsible for Hollywood's single cup win. Will not be sole responsibility. The entire team played well, but Sterling making the crucial save in the penalty shootout.
Yeah, that will be something that he might look forward to in the semi-finals and perhaps the finals as well, depending on who we end up drawing. As here's Vandersloff. Tries to look back for Tali, but intercepted there by Ricky Bobby and cleared away there by Possible. Now it's Hunter Jones. Jones against Tarley. Ooh, they collide, but no whistle blown, and they play on. Now here's Ricky Bobby. Tries to find Lang Kwai. Got past Checker well. Now centers for Ricky Bobby. A shot saved by single of Katarina. It's a good block. Now Vandersloff. Let's work it out. See a yellow card given there to Portanesca.
Now, something that I actually haven't touched on this match, which is surprising for me, is that Buenos Aires are a Division 2 team. Hollywood, on the other hand, on Division 1.
Yeah, I mean, some could call that a mismatch, but I mean, we've seen the D2 teams compete with the Div 1 teams. Of course, we have Sydney, London coming up after this one. Here's a corner in by Gorkov, cleared away by Hunter Jones. And now it'll be Bobby to send it long. Che Guevara. It's basically running parallels with each other. Sent back out, but Buendia reads it well and cuts it off. Largely dry offensive spell here, as we see Hollywood have in fact missed a shot.
for a team that needs 4 goals. They certainly haven't gotten a good start.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think they have enough time at this point, you know. Clock's not on their side, and as much as these home fans might be, it doesn't feel like they're able to inspire too much here. But here's Yates. Maybe they can find one now, as here's Vanderslof with a lot of open space and finds the bottom corner. 12 with 18 minutes to go. Maybe you can find one now.
I've talked about inspiring confidence this match, and that right there inspires a ton of it. Edwin Vanderslof absolutely clear of Gerard. Blocks that pass to Scott Sterling. Lordy. What a great shot. Well, what a great goal. Buenos Aires need 3 more, and time ticking away now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a great ball as well from Grayson Yates. It was a long one at that, basically across the field. Probably got about 35 air yards on it, and then just found Vanderslof on the run, got right past Gerard, and well, it was basically set free. And speaking of set free, and nearly put tiki-taka out on the run there, and Mika Rashford just couldn't find the boot, ends up being taken there. Down, just has to look for an option here. Was trying to look long instead just go short. But he's recovered there, thanks to the work of Gerard. Now they reset. Hollywood now with an attack on the flank. This could be a dagger here. Tiki-taka just barely tried to put it short side, but save there by Oakdown.
Oakdown has been absolutely pivotal for Buenos Aires today.
Yeah, they've needed him to be that, you know, just at least to try and keep him in this match. So long as they can hold on, maybe they can leave themselves in for a chance here. But time ticking down, Yang Kwai hits into the side of the net. But again, only about 5 minutes and 15 seconds left. Wendia and Yates. Yannick Verno. Yeah, find someone on that through ball again. They were looking for it previously. That's how they got their first goal, through Vanderslof. And that time they do. Now it's with Yates. Yates, a shot, save! Scott Sterling. Has been Sterling enough in defense. 4 of the shots on target is faced. In spite of not being as many as Buenos Aires would have liked.
I was going to say,
wide.
I think that came off his face.
Well, classic Scott Sterling then. It looks like we'll just have to look into stoppage time for anything. Managers are really having a long conversation with each other here, so I think they realize that there's not much to be done here. Here's Hunter Jones whipping it inside. Tiki-taka!
That's
a dagger. Hunter Jones puts it through. Tiki-taka. Got the head to it. Was well onside there. Nearly got cleared away by Knight, but a good sweeping work there by Hum Possible, and well, tough short side stop for Oakdown to make, and eventually something had to give.
Yeah, I feel bad for
minutes left,
Oakdown. He deserves that shutout,
probably it.
but Hollywood have just been pounding away.
Yeah, well, they've had their opportunities. It was saved mostly, but that will very likely do it. So look for one more. And Oakdown barely able to keep it off the line. Sigvard of Katarina sends that away. This line of still forming here. Perhaps Hollywood just want to put in a statement. Make sure that they would get a hypothetical 3 points out of it. Rashford out. Adam Knight clears it. That will do it. Hollywood advances to the semi-finals of the Simulation Soccer League Cup with a brilliant victory. Well, not in this case, but the 6-2 was enough. And that will mean a 7-3 on aggregate advancement. Koshi Oakdown did what he could, but the offense wasn't there for Buenos Aires. 6 shots on target, and Sterling was able to save 5 of them, enough to secure a well-earned advancement into the semi-finals, where we still await to see who will join them. Of course, Hollywood and Catalunya have gone through, but we still have Sydney and London, which I believe is coming up next, as well as Athênai versus Tokyo. There's not really much else to say about this match, I'd say, Sarah. It was pretty wrapped up from leg 1, and Hollywood just needed to secure leg 2.
I think Buenos Aires can be proud of the draw. Holding an offense like Hollywood to only one goal is impressive in that of itself, and Oakdown had a great day. I will say that Scott Sterling certainly looked better than a 6.6, but that's what the game gave him. But on to the next, as they say.
Yep, it's the Ashes match, London versus Sydney.
We are in
One of the
London,
toughest routes.
Jay.
Yeah, one of the toughest routes to take by plane, of course, is you can barely get it direct. I don't think you can get it direct. You have to go via Perth or some other city, but again, this will definitely impact the away side more, I would say. Of course, London did have that first goal through K. Clements, I believe it was, and then we got the equaliser through Dobby Rube. That save on Conte there. Of course, I do believe Sydney have a new acquisition. They have added in Joey McCarthy to be a potential backup goalkeeper. And, given that Sydney have, got this new signing, London hasn't seen any of them. Do you think that there could be a possible penalty go-to, even if they do still have certified problem?
Possibly. I do not know if they would switch the keepers out. Actually, problem is in net for today, it seems. So I don't think that I would go to the rookie keeper in the penalty shootout in the cup. No.
Fair enough. I mean, I have to trust that sort of thing. Of course, we did see in actual FIFA World Cup qualifications, Andrew Redmayne was used. The Grey Wiggle. But certified problem, I mean, has basically been the MVP in the league and will probably have to be looked for in the same way here in the Cup. Just to make sure that they can keep everything out. Of course, London do currently hold away goals advantage. So if it remains 0-0, I guess to advance.
Yes, but Sydney looking to change that. They have been all gears forward in the last 20 minutes here. And here they come again.
Yep, now Conte, good save there. Yeboah had to get on top of that one, but saved it well. Definitely feel like it's been all Sydney at this point. No shot on target thus far for London in this first half hour.
Sydney playing in a very familiar formation. The, would you guess it?
4-1-4-1!
Yes!
Oh, I feel so smart now.
Into London, though, on the other side, playing it in a more asymmetric 4-2-3-1 with the left-leaning attacking midfielder and the right-leaning striker.
Yep. Of course, we do see now into London trying to attack with that way. Here's Tata Yure. K. Clements, the save has got Jerry! Jerry at last opens the account, and it's 1-0 London.
It's Jerry! I did that for Zenlo, who unfortunately could not make this task. He's feeling a little under the weather today. Love you, buddy.
Well, I think Jerry will be feeling a lot better about that one. Just ended up finding the rebound and, well, with a very open net, was able to coolly slot it home.
And
now they have to think.
Into London
Let's
lead on aggregate here. Uh-oh, Aspaqueta! And that didn't last very long at all!
Wow, I thought that would have been well offside there because I thought it came off a Sydney player, but ends up being sent right through. Let's have a watch of it again. It's Aspilicueta who finds Conte, and Aspilicueta again. I did think it came off Zaire, but no. It was Donnarumma who basically just sent Aspilicueta through by herself, and that is a killer, but they'll be fine with it. So long as they don't concede anything, at least they will be able to force extra time if they don't find anything more into the net. Here's Matt Letitia, good save there, certified problem. Back for rebound found Scottamuffin. Now Papasfopoulos worked in for Clements, and the main striker can't get it past certified problem.
I will say, though, that goal is really cinematic. Donnarumma, the captain of Inter London, Aspaqueta, former captain of Inter London and former striker for Inter London, here threatening once again.
Here's Aspilicueta versus Roma again, but that time Roma wins the duel.
Not so gift-giving that time. Not so kind there.
Yeah, I mean, just a very tough thing to do, This will be a very difficult thing to watch. Here's Jerry again on the inside. Oh, just wide. Of course, we did mention Kay Clements, I believe one of the leading scorers in Division 2 against Certified Problem, the shutouts leader in Division 1. Where does the matchup end up going? Here's Aspilicueta again sent through, but tipped over the top by Yeboah.
Tony Yeboah absolutely playing out of his skin in this first half to keep Inter London in it.
Yeah, as that one's whipped in, but Claudio Scarpato, ends up sending that over the top. And that will take us to the break. It's been mostly Sydney in this case, but it's been a lot more even than I think some highlight packages may suggest. Inter London have had their chances. They were able to get that rebound goal for Jerry Svici, and just soon after that, Aspilicueta got sent through 1-for-1-on-1 against Yeboah. And with the rain coming down here in London, what else is new?
Rain
has to be said. This is a close.
Absolutely pouring in the Boris Johnson Party Dome here.
Yeah, I did think that this was a fairly tough match for both sides. Inter London does have to go up against a club that recently has seen a lot of success in Sydney City, but also a lot of changes. Inter London currently are leading Div 2, and we do have one change here already. It is Fallon de Floor on for Walter Pinkman. But only one change for Sydney. Gibacono Carbone replaces direct free kick. And speaking of free kick, there's one to Sydney for offside.
Yes. Though Inter London with a throw in here.
Opportunity there, and ahead of there, I think it might have been Clements, might have been Roman, might have been Fallon de Floor. Either way, found the side of the net. It's now a corner kick here. It's Jerry to take it. Jerry whipped in here, finds Clements! And it's 2-1! Inter London hold the lead now! And a huge cartwheel!
That is a cartwheel. I called that a somersault last time. But beautiful
Just
corner
saying.
there from Jerry. That's his assist. I'll look through the first of the season for him. And Kay Clements there to bury goal number a billion for him this season. I think he's got at least around 10.
Yeah, I think that did come up with that is his 10th goal of the season, in fact. But now Sydney City, if they get another one here, I'll try to get one through Zaid, but sent it over the top. Yeah, I mean, it was actually mentioned recently within Inter London circles that Jerry Svici did not have a goal contribution thus far. And now he's got two very crucial ones in a cup quarter-final.
And in front of the hometown fans, no less.
Very happy with that as here's Rivers working against the floor. Ends up just finding dives in a lot on a ball intended for Aspilicueta. Now here's Scud Muffin against Carbone. Back inside for Ure. Sends Clements through. Oh, great tackle by Scarpetta. And the floor on the rebound. Just going to get it by Certified Problem.
Problem tracked the entire play there. Even I lost track of the ball. Though he was able to make that save. And the floor with the chance again.
Yeah, the floor goes into Jerry once more. And that time again, Certified Problem just tracking the eyes there perhaps. And read it so well to get it back in as he has done a rumorous shot, and that one goes over the top. Oh wow, this has been really peppering now into London. Feel like they've just been on top this second half.
Yeah, definitely coming out of the locker room a little bit different. Wonder what the manager said. And there.
Oh, what a find! It's Gavin Miller! Off the corner from Jerry, a second assist. An arrow in the heart. It's 3-1 in the leg. 4-2 on aggregate.
Speaking of the manager, Gavin Millar, player manager, right there to make the difference and puts it past Certified Problem.
Wow, I mean, it was just tough there for Conte. Just didn't have the marking on that occasion, I wouldn't say. Was in that far side of the 6-yard box. Probably could have been there for it, but Millar snuck around the back and basically found the door and busted it wide open. There's that corner kick there. Diffused there. Dives in a lot. Now back to goalkeeper. Mina Holkavodo tries to find Scarpetta, and another shot that barely finds the net. But, well, didn't actually go in. Dives in a lot. Back to Roma. Less than 5 minutes ago here in regulation, and Sydney need to find 2 goals to win the tie here. Of course, they do have the away goal advantage if they can find said 2. Here's Holkavodo taken away by Jure. Now here's Jerry. Jerry tries to send Clement through against Claudio Scarpetta, but Scarpetta blocked the shot. Sends it over for a corner. Another corner by Jerry, but that time no one on it. Basically tried to go directly in, Roberto Carlos style, and finds the hand. It's certified problem.
Looking for goal number 2 there is Jerry.
What a goal that would have been off of direct corner. Here's Jure now against Gomina Holkavodo. Try to clear it away. Headed back in by Millar. Over to Scud Muffin. Back to Papastafopoulos. Muffin back in. Try to find Clements, but again Claudio Scarpetta is there for it, and brother Roberto to send it over the sideline. Papastafopoulos back to Millar. Inside. Looking Clements again, but it hit the post with the shot. Minute and change to go. Here's the floor. Finds an open lane, but probably could have taken the shot. Instead looked to Muffin and was cleared by Carbone. Now Jure a shot, but well over the top.
1 minute now. Sydney need 2.
They basically need to run it back and commit everything to it, but they won't have time for that. Here's the floor, just wasting time at this point. Sending the ball into the crowd, trying to tick those final seconds off the clock here. Just need to find one opportunity, but they only finds Papastafopoulos. Rube, however, a great read, gets the intercept, but that was it. Into London, has gone past Sydney City. The Ashes come home. They will move on to the semi-finals.
And they become the first Division 2 team to upset a Division 1 team in the SSL Cup history.
History making, and from the one person that didn't have a goal contribution in that midfield and forward pack for Inter London, Jerry Svici. A goal, 2 assists, man of the match honours. I mean, Sydney, this must be absolutely demoralising. The first team to be knocked out by a Div 2 club, first Div 1 team to be knocked out by a Div 2 club, and they just have to go back home and lick their wounds for it.
And after flying so high too in the regular season, they are doing very well. Though as of late, a little bit of a downturn, and I think you see that in the match results as of late. And this cup was played back to back, so unfortunate for Sydney City, just in a downturn of form. Fortunate for Inter London to capitalize on that.
Yes, we've already got ourselves quickly underway here with Tokyo Athênai. The Sky Rise. Oh! Well, how about that to open up?
Skyrise gets us quickly underway here. And if I am not mistaken, that's one of many that Tokyo will need.
Yeah, of course, we have the 3 scoring contributions by Owen 44 in what was a 3-0 win for Athênai. So 44, the main striker, was pretty much a main factor why Athênai was able to take that 3-0 advantage, but now they're only down. Only 3-1 is his Labovic in, and was called offside. Yeah, Sky Rise, thanks to Yannick Visser, I believe, ends up making it already 3-1.
Yeah,
it would be just such a wild time for Athênai. I mean, early on, you gave up 4 minutes. Surely going to keep it on pace, but here's Visser again, working against Lockyer. Pass was blocked, but now Visser again. That one blocked by Zinedine Gintonic and out for a corner kick. By Emiliano Yoichi Asagi. Asagi whips it over to Rise, but cleared away by Hendrik Lind. Now with Hayden out to Rupp. Over to Ness. Now Asagi again. Back to Albashan Touche. The goat. Sad. Now Asagi, long shot, but well wide. how difficult must it be for Yannick Andersson as well? We haven't been able to mention his name yet, but he was already let through a goal 4 minutes in and has already been just on the receiving end of a lot of chances. Just surely, again, that mental game must be so difficult for him.
Yeah, he's been challenged early, Yannick Andersson, and to be honest, not challenged very often this season.
Again, challenge there. That time, Helena Soderberg. A good save there. Diving to his right there was Anderson. Isagi again. And that time finds Micro. And it's a 1-goal game already. Tokyo leads 2-0 in the leg. 3-2 in the aggregate. And now it's already been reduced to just needing one to send it to extra time.
Athênai have only had one shot this match so far, so they're looking to turn it around in the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, just in the 30 minutes, but also in the 45 following, 1 goal in 75 minutes should be doable, especially if you can get 2 in less than 15. As here's Abachan Touche, a long shot. Oh, very close, but just touched away by Yannick Andersson.
And at the rate goals have been occurring, you had thought that might have found its way into the net. Tokyo fans holding their breath with the bated approach.
As here's Hayden. Oh, good clearance there by Lind. And headed away out by Gin Tonic. And just Athênai have had nothing in terms of ball handling. So now they just have to see if they can find anything more here. As here's Sky Rise over to Cairo. Cairo looks to find a Visser. Back to Cairo. Over to Visser again. Visser centering, but blocked there by Lind. By Abachan Touche. Back to Abachan Touche now with Hayden. Soderberg. Ness is free against Fisher. Ooh. Lost the plot there. Losing footing. Here also it's been raining in Tokyo.
I'm pretty sure rain does play a factor, though. I'm not sure how much of a factor it plays.
But again, they found it! That's a tying goal! It's Skyrise! And it's 3-0 Tokyo. They've tied the leg up!
And that was off an innocent looking throw, and you hardly see anything happen from these. But Skyrise able to punish.
Yeah, they just left out so much space for them, and again it's Visser that finds the head of Rise. And now Athênai have to make sure they don't let anything more through here. Of course, if they do end up going stroke for stroke here with them, if it stays as it is, it's penalties, but they would have the away goals advantage. Here's Hayden. Soderberg, open, had no angle. Tried to just finesse it into the far corner, but Yoga just tapped it back, and Anderson ended up finding it for himself. Now here's Labovic. A lot of room on that right flank. Working against Isagi, whipped inside, Fisher open header, but Josh Berger read it well and was able to just prevent anything coming through. As that takes us to half, it is tied 3 apiece.
And we still have 45 minutes of football to play. With how aggressive that match has been, I haven't had too much time to provide analyzation as to the tactics. Stock, if you'd be my guest, please, what formation is Tokyo playing?
I actually don't have that one on hand with me, but I will have to dig that up for you.
You can guess it.
Just while I do. Is it 4-1-4-1?
It is a 4-1-4-1. How did you know?
Yay! Mind reading. That's what I'll go with.
Athênai, on the other hand, take a more original approach. They're playing a 4-2-4 with 2 strikers up top. You mentioned them, 44 having a bit of a rough season after leaving Sydney in the off-season via trade. Joining forces with Jeffrey Levert, the Canadian forward, has found a really second win with 44 here. And here comes Isagi.
Just wide. Yeah, I mean, I have talked about Levert, or Lever as I prefer to call him. He hasn't said anything about it yet, so Jeffrey, if you want to say something, my DMs are always open. Either way, here he is now with a long shot. Yards, but no dice. Here's Gin Tonic now. Trying to find 0-44! The man that's helped them throughout has put them back in front!
It seems that every time I talk about 0-44 struggling, he finds a way to prove me wrong. There he is on the corner post there, getting way above Hayden.
Yeah, but just needed that centre back on him. They needed Ruppel or Chetty, someone to just try and challenge him into the air, but they had no one for it. As such, Athênai takes the aggregate lead, of course, still down 3-1 technically in the match, but he will be very content with this as it stands, as this is shot saved there by Anderson, now with Soderberg. Soderberg just had no outlet, needed to go back to perhaps the linear nest, but couldn't find the angle and ends up just having to give that one up. Here's a corner for Athênai. Joker out to Lind, but cleared by Arbachan Touché. Now back to Lind. Get back into that centre-back role so they can play that classic 4-2-4 formation that they've been running. Can't really call it classic though, but it's what Athênai likes. As Labovic tries to find 44, but basically had no angle to really put that one by anyone and ends up being gobbled up by Berger. Sagi now to Visser on the other side of the pitch. Visser decides to just work it back, try and center things out for Vercetti. Arbachan Touché now to Hayden, now it's Soderberg. Arbachan Touché to Asagi, now Cairo. Visser. Trying to look for an option. Tries to whip it in, but Lockyer with a good intercept. Lockyer. Give a Hayden and another block there. Soderberg shot stopped by Lind.
I don't know if we've talked about this yet, but that goal from Athênai means that Tokyo need 2 to win. There is no more drawing for Tokyo, as there was no away goal from them in that first half.
Yeah, I mean, I think I did touch on it briefly that, you know, if Tokyo did hold that 3-all, talk about, I believe, in the first half, that if Athênai just held serve in a way, even if they just basically stand equals from here on, well, from that point, it would have been an advantage Athênai. Now here's Visser, finds a Sagi deflection, goal!
Isagi finds one! And Tokyo need one more here.
This was such an interesting play here because I think this does take a deflection. It's Visser, it finds Asagi. Oh, I think it might have, I thought it deflected off Cairo there, but
clean.
no, that was just curled.
That was
just a
clean.
Beautiful shot.
Beautiful.
But now less than 15 minutes left though, and Tokyo still needs to find another. Soderberg couldn't corral that in the rain and it was recovered by Joker. Now with Fischer over to Lever. Tried to find Joker but got back to Ness. Berger sends it right back the other way. Lind does the same though. Fischer back to Lever. It's counter-attacking football and that one is blocked by Mike Rupp. That will be another corner kick, but it's advantage Athênai right now. Joker sends it in. Labovic stopped by Asagi and out for a throw.
Throw in as time just tick away here.
About 7/8 of the way through this match. Here's Soderberg, finds Ness on the edge. Flag stays down for now. Ness back for Hayden. Hayden goes back to Ness. Now Soderberg centering for Goda. Now Visser, a shot! Oh, barely saved by Anderson. The rebound cleared by Ramirez. And 0-44 does well to find himself on the end of that clearance. Just having to run out to that flank. Vercetti gets a slide tackle, but the ball just continued to slide along the dewy grass and ends up being a corner.
And for a second there, Tokyo fans thought that might have been it.
Yeah, again, Berger getting up there. Played well thus far, but that one goal he let in could be the crucial one. Less than 10 minutes. Just need to find one more goal here, Tokyo. Athênai would surely secure it with one of theirs. in towards the half, but that clearance just tried to send Skyrise through, but he wasn't really running onto that one. But that's a big intercept there on Fisher. Now Skyrise, shot, goal!
The
They're in
flag is
front!
up! Oh no!
No!
We're
Oh,
not
we
even
don't
gonna
even
get
get
a
a second
replay!
look. Well, I mean, if that's the case, it must have been well offside, but I thought it was straight in. Nonetheless, such a tough thing for Tokyo. They thought they had the Skyrise hat-trick. They thought they had the lead in the aggregate, but no. And now here's Hayden, a shot bat over the bar. Less than 6 minutes to go. Here's Sherwood. Tries to send through Fisher. Fisher a shot. Well held by Berger. And it didn't go over for a corner either. That's what they need from him. But they're not finding any more chances now. 1 minute in regulation. No sign from the fourth official yet. Here's Visser. Over to Kaido. Now Asagi. Asagi back in. Skyrise finds Kaido. Kaido! Oh, he's belted that one, but it's belted way too hard and over the top.
Shinji Kaido had what could have been the game time goal on his foot there. Unfortunate not to make more of that chance.
That's a good intercept though. Yoshisagi finds Skyrise. Is onside this time, but the shot is well over the top, and that might be it. Anderson clears it as deep as he can. Only finds Rupp. Clear tries to find Rise, but headed back by Lind. 0-44 sends it deep in. That should do us. Just waiting on the wings. When will the whistle sound? There it is. Athênai goes through on away goals. They go on to the semi-finals, and Tokyo, they fought so hard, but at 81st minute disallowed goal closes the book on their cup run.
Tokyo, so unfortunate not to get more today. It certainly looked for like a couple of moments that they had found their fifth goal. Athênai, on the other hand, their dominance in that first leg will lead to their advance into the semi-finals here. And again, away goals do matter. They matter oh so much.
Yeah, what's that? 52nd minute away goal by 0-44. 2 goals, 2 assists, I believe, in that cup tie. And as such, I mean, Tokyo, they just must be so disappointed about that. In the meantime, though, we see Athênai, Catalunya, into London, and Hollywood all advancing to the semi-finals of the Simulation Soccer League Cup. For voiceless creator Sarah and all of us here at the Simulation Soccer League, I've been Sock. We shall see you next time around.
Night.